Greetings and welcome back to Dice Club. Last time, our brave heroes fought their way through a bunch of robots which all cast illusions on themselves to look each party member. After the fight concludes, they began their way down a ladder to the next layer, stopping to rest. Things got heated before everyone split up, ending the night by themselves. Let's see what happens next.
The seven of you, kind of, after spending that night in the chamber, Seeker kind of activates the next door, and through it, you can see the third layer. Around you are a few interesting details. The chamber itself is somewhat of a tunnel. It looks like kind of a stretched out octagon, with the corners where the wall meets the floor and ceiling become their own surface, kind of angling up to form a slight ramp. The ceiling here is lower than it ever has been. It's like 10 feet max, while like 20 feet wide. Portions of the walls and floor around you seem to be kind of rippling, panels moving up and down, in and out of place. You see these smaller robots, about the size of toasters, floating around the air, buzzing and whirring from place to place on the walls, ceiling and floors, kind of pruning and tending to the various types of grass, thick mosses, flowers, vines, lichens, and any other plant that are around here. They're going about their business, not really paying you any mind. You also see tendrils. However, they are rather methodically and mechanically, in a much more programmed manner than you've seen them, moving around the area. They're kind of tending to the mechanical panels that open, using their tools and hands to perform general maintenance. They also don't seem to be paying you any mind. Seeker, as they kind of walk through, and you're all observing this, Seeker says, yes, this level has, as I've said before, direct lines to almost every spot in the world and the city, whether through the tendril network or by air vents or some other means, although mainly it just consists of the space between the second level and the core. It should not be a much more complicated journey from here until we reach it. You all spend some time kind of walking down these corridors. Every few minutes you'll kind of pass a conjunction of another corridor, and it seems that they are arranged in an evenly spaced grid. Following Seeker, they occasionally take a turn left or right, but more often than not, you're just kind of walking forwards. Seredin, Marsh and Seeker are kind of walking ahead of the group, and just out of earshot, but everyone else is kind of around you. Cyrus pretty much making up the rear. What are you doing as you walk? Yeah.
Well, in this wonderful word picture you've painted, I think they definitely spend a lot of time trying to figure out, just watching all of these robots and what they're doing, but I think they'd get pretty quickly bored because they're just taking care of the plants. And since Cyrus has fallen a little bit behind, I think they turn to Wren and they're like, Wren, psst,
what's
Wren.
up?
So what do you think his deal is? You know, what do you think his deal is?
I think he is a dumb idiot, stupid guy who's just following us around.
Hell yeah, up top.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, but actually, I don't really know. I mean, I think, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if he has a deal right now in this moment. I think he's sort of along for the ride because he has really nowhere else to go.
Yeah. We haven't given him a lot of options.
No.
Well, I'm fine with that, honestly. Look, I know I'm being a hater, but I mean, this guy kind of, whatever. I don't want to talk about him anymore. He's just kind of boring at this point. He hasn't done anything interesting.
Yeah. Totally boring and uninteresting, and I never think about him. Just sort of in the back of my mind. You're so right, Seredin.
Yeah, we're done. We're over that?
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
I know Marsh and Seeker are out of earshot of the rest of the party, but I don't know if Cyrus is.
He's pretty much just kind of like observing, just kind of taking in the surroundings, not really. I don't know if he hears, but he's not trying to listen. He's just kind of, if he hears, he's not making any immediate notice of it.
I think Wren is trying very hard not to look back at him a little bit.
Wren, in that last, I guess, battle we did against the us robots, I feel like my thing is like I'm good at sneaking and I'm good at like shooting with my bow. I'm pretty good at that. But I kept trying to hit these damn things with my swords, and I don't know what was going on, but I feel like a lot of the time I just wasn't hitting as well as I could have. You're kind of like a hitting and slashing kind of guy. Do you have any good tips for me?
Yes. Oh my god. I've been waiting for the day. Okay, so for me to get in the zone, I always have to like psych myself up, get in that sort of fighting mood.
Yeah.
I use a lot of breath techniques. So you want to sort of breathe in, hold it, breathe out, and just like get in the zone. You know, square breathing? You breathe in a square. It's beautiful.
What?
You breathe in 4 seconds, hold it 4 seconds, breathe out 4 seconds, hold it 4 seconds, and then it like gets you really zen. And then you do that for a couple minutes. And then like in your brain, you're playing like the coolest song you've ever heard.
So like Green Sleeves.
Yes! Sure. I don't actually know that song, but yes. So whatever song that is for you.
You breathe in a square for a few minutes before every fight.
I do it like internally. You know, I'm not like broadcasting it. You can do it whenever.
Anytime. So you're just like always ready with your breathing to like.
Yeah. And then for me, I like to sort of get very angry. That helps me. You sort of just healthy. Like think about the craziest shit in the world that makes you so pissed off, and then like
Seredin glances back at Cyrus for just a second.
and then you harness that. You like get like a harness on that like ball of fire, and then you put it like in your soul, basically, and then it like it makes you really strong.
I'm sure that's not the only thing he wants to put a harness on. What?
Jesus.
Who said that? I don't know who said that.
But yeah, and then you like take that fire that's inside of your soul and you use it through the sword while you're slashing and pounding.
Okay. So I don't need to worry about like my technique or grip or like stance or anything. I just need to like really get pissed.
Yeah.
And I'll do it better.
Yeah. To be honest, that's why I like my maul, because you can just sort of hit.
Yeah. I've gone for more of like slashing, kind of more finesse based.
Do you want to try with my big hammer?
Yes.
Okay. I grab it off my back.
Dear Christ.
And I hand it to Seredin, who's so small.
I'm going to roll strength to even hold this hammer.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Strength. A saving throw or just straight up strength?
Saving
Not
throw.
the saving
throw for sure.
13.
Yeah, you're not, I wouldn't say you're wielding the maul, but you definitely have it.
Hell.
It doesn't knock you over.
Yeah, can you swing it at all? Or are you, oh god, don't fall over. Oh god.
No, I'm good. I got my tail. I'm stabilizing myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna swing it. I don't know, is there a fucking tree?
I think you can see, like, a sapling to your left a little bit, but it's like, it looks very like frail and like full of like potential and life.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
go hit that thing.
Seredin's having a crisis of faith. Hold on.
Just think about how good of a climbing tree that tree could be.
Seredin, what is the thing in the world that pisses you off the most?
People destroying trees? Wait, no.
Oh no.
Oh, God. Seredin digs deep. What pisses them off more than anything?
Cyrus.
He's definitely up there, but I think if they really want to look deep inside...
Think about, Meadow. You know, you're really close, and you know how Meadow, almost... I use that one sometimes, because that does piss me off. But
That's pretty... You know what? That does get me pretty riled up. And it was all... You know what? If I hadn't let her just, separate, you know what? Then that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So that was on me. That was on me. And then they swing at the little tree.
No.
Roll an attack on the sapling.
What's the
On this
fucking
perfect
AC?
and beautiful tree that's full of potential of what this life could become in the future.
Do you have proficiency?
I rolled
with
with my unarmed... I rolled unarmed strike on that just because I figure I don't...
Yeah.
I got a dirty 20.
Whoa.
Dear Lord Seredin,
That's hilarious.
you kind of oh man, you kind of you're having a difficult time balancing the maul, but you are able to, using your just pure rage and the careful breathing and the calculation that allows you, you're able to kind of use the offset weight and kind of start it going, and it does a full swing around you, using the momentum of it being off balance to kind of strike into the tree, and it just kind of it's not very big. It's just it kind of just you hit it at the base of it kind of, and it snaps, and it the top of it is off now. It has detached from its roots, and you got it, and you killed the tree.
Ooh, nice one. Up top.
Seredin just reaches off to the side to do a little just staring at the tree, breathing heavily.
And now, you don't want to use stuff like that all the time, because I could tell there was a little bit of a, You want to harness the hatred, but the self-hatred can sometimes...
What self-hate? I'm cool. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Hey, I think that particular incident might not have been the best, because, for me, when I do harness it, does sort of turn into a bit of a guilt hell thing, which makes me hit really strong, but then I have to breathe a lot to recover, and sometimes there's not time for breathing
all the time.
So
can't breathe all the time.
But right now we do have time to breathe, so you should breathe, and also while you're doing that,
oh Lord,
it's equally important to recognize your strength. But you also have to recognize the soft parts of you. And it's that balance that ties together and makes you an even stronger, more resilient person. Because if you're all strong, it oftentimes makes you a little brittle. If it's just 100% just rock. You can hit a rock with a hammer and it breaks. But if it's a rock that also has goopy bits in it, that are soft and can move, if it gets hit with a hammer, it can absorb the shock. What I'm trying to say to you, Seredin.
Like the tree bends with the wind but doesn't break.
Yes,
but
yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So in addition to your anger and hatred, you also unfortunately do have to sit with the feelings and become goop.
Wren, I don't think I gave you enough credit for how wise you are.
Thank you. My wisdom stat is not the highest, but I believe you.
For some reason, I feel like
actually my
mine
wisdom is higher than my intelligence. So this works.
I feel like that's the case for me too.
I think that is pretty representative of you have to become goop. Yeah, that's wise. But is it smart?
So what I'm saying, Seredin, don't be too hard on yourself. Your motivations do have to come from within, but don't choose ones that are gonna hurt you more than it hurts the person you're smashing.
Whoa.
Thank you, Wren. Here's your mall back.
Oh yeah. So your technique on that kind of sucked.
No, I mean I hit the tree. Yeah,
You hit the tree. It was really good, but I think we're gonna start you out on like a regimen of like lifting some like 5-pound weights, and then we can get you up from there. Here, take this stone and just do some curls with it while we walk.
Hold on, just a second. And they try to take the sapling and put it back up, and like maybe find some vines and try to like tie it together, and maybe it'll graft itself back into a tree.
Go ahead and roll a nature check.
Okay, 5.
Yeah, you like tie. You have the okay. So you take down some vines, right? And you're able to like secure the top of the sapling. I guess the trimming, which consisted of the entirety of the plant, which usually isn't how trimmings go. But you are able to secure it to like the stump, but like. You don't secure it on like from like each of the split ends. You kind of have it like off to the side, and you just have it tied on there. And it's certainly it's up. It's standing.
Seredin, does Meadow know how to fix trees, or is it just people?
You know what? That's a great question. I don't think she would want to see this.
Damn it!
And then Seredin just kind of grabs the rock that Wren was handing to them and scampers to go join the group again and does curls.
You kind of just all spend like a really long time just walking through these corridors, just kind of taking turns when Seeker does, and you make your way into kind of an area that doesn't seem like it'll be disturbed by like a moving panel or like a gardening robot. It's not really like an alcove. The grid-like structure of the corridors doesn't allow for that, but you all kind of have enough room for yourselves as you spend the night in this kind of area. The next day...
Is this perhaps a long one?
Any interesting dreams?
Nope. The next day, you kind
can't
of
speak for me. You don't know what I dreamt.
Well,
He does.
Okay.
He's the dice
All right,
master.
No, I don't.
Let's
I don't
just
actually
round
have
table.
anything
Let's
to say
talk about
that.
dreams. Who wants to talk about the dreams they had last night?
I had really cool dreams that had a bunch of really cool clues about my backstory, but then I forgot them the moment I woke up.
Hey, I'm glad. The next day, you kind of all continue with your walking, and
This is exactly like in the Fellowship of the Ring.
No competition.
see, I thought so too.
No, hey,
sorry,
no cross promotion.
Sorry. Do you think Lord of the Rings
We've
is
had
competition
this
to
conversation
Dice World?
so many
Yes.
times.
High fantasy.
I got so close to continuing. I got so close to keeping us moving. The next day, you kind of wake up and you all continue walking. A few hours pass, and Marsh, you and Seeker are still kind of leading the group here, a bit ahead of everybody, and your conversation probably wouldn't be directly overheard. What are you kind of doing with Seeker as you walk?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I think Marsh is, for a while, I think for probably all of yesterday, was just looking at like kind of investigating Seeker and seeing where the plants in them like intertwine with the mechanical bits, and just like kind of just admiring that for a while. I think today they've just taken one of their tools out and is sewing up a one of their blankets or like a pack or something as they walk with Seeker. Rough time estimate, how far do you think we are from the core?
Well, by my estimates, we have to finish this day's walk, and then after this next period of rest, we will have only a couple hours.
Got it. Seeker, what languages do you know?
I may have known many. My core memory drives have been altered so many times that I'm not sure how many I would know now.
Got it. So the only one you're currently proficient in it right now is common?
I believe this is the case.
Okay. Do you think there's anything that could quote unquote jog your memory? Like if I started speaking in a different language, do you think that would help?
I see no harm in trying.
Okay. I think Marsh repeats the giant alphabet. Just big letters. No. And then I think starts repeating like a folktale that they heard when they were younger about like the mountains shifting to allow passage of the giants into the land that they needed, and the giants befriending the mountains because of that. And they kind of like look away a little bit and then go, "Did you recognize any of that?"
I am familiar with the alphabet, but I do not think I am able to translate any of the words that you spoke.
Okay, that's a start.
If you told it again, I may be able to retroactively assign meaning to the words that I heard you speak before.
Okay. And Marsh tells the story again and then repeats it in common to Seeker, explaining kind of the intricacies of the language that aren't directly translatable to common and kind of like that take a minute to understand.
Okay. You kind of do this with Seeker for a while. I think you just start telling folk tales, like different ones, like we're going kind of back and forth, repeating a folk tale and then saying it again in common.
Willow trees have always been special, sacred to us. Firbolg. It was one of the main trees that populated the land when the giants came down and settled in the mountains. I don't know how true it is, but I think one of the main myths that I was told was that if you were ever in seek of shelter, is to lie down in the roots of a willow tree and it'll grant you safe shelter for the night. And they kind of like look around and they say, "It's unfortunate that we haven't seen any here. I don't know if they grow in this world."
While I am not sure that I have seen any of that particular species along my travels or our travels, I do think that I have found a willow tree in you.
Maybe if we ever get back to my home, I'll show you a real one.
I think I would enjoy that. After that, you guys also you kind of do the same thing as you did the night before. You find a spot that doesn't really look like it's going to be interrupted by like a moving panel or wayward robot, and you kind of make camp for the night. Venus, you've got a fire going. I think Wren and Seredin made like a fire with their like survival tools, because I feel like Wren has started a fire at every place that they've like gone to. You're now at it. What are you doing?
Well, Venus is gonna start making... Are we at dinner now? What time is it? We're making a meal.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, great answer. Venus is gonna... Okay, Venus took the lead on this, and Venus has made campfire dinner and meals many times before in the past couple years, and she's managed to never get better at it. She's still pretty shit at cooking. So I think I don't even know what there is to make. There's something on the fire. There's something on the fire, and we can all agree that there is definitely something on the fire. I think she like scrounged food that she's been keeping in her pack together, and it's on that fire.
Neat.
Yeah. So I think she might look like she's struggling a bit.
Yeah, that's gonna be unfortunate because Meadow cannot cook.
No, are you serious?
Meadow couldn't like fry an egg like this is.
Cyrus, we're counting on you.
Man,
I'm sorry, there is just no way.
I want him to be able to cook, but there's not a chance.
There's not a chance
that
Meadow
he was
can
not
cook.
weighted on hand and foot.
I'm telling you.
That's
Yeah.
immediately
There is
funny
not a
as
chance.
Cyrus
I know
cooking
this, I know-
now.
no.
Cyrus cooking now.
Cyrus can cook.
No,
Okay,
no. He can't, but he's gonna try.
Yeah.
All right. Cyrus kind of like sees you struggling, and he, I think you hear his stomach growl just really loud, and out of kind of desperation, he's gonna try to come over and like speed up the process with you. And he says, "Well, we've got all right. What have we got? What have we got over here? What's on the pot? What do we even have?" And he kind of takes a look around. He looks in the pot. What even is in
Trying
like the
to
pot?
think of any non-perishable food that Venus could have in her pack for an extended period of time, and I'm really drawing up blanks. It's
Bread soup.
bread soup. Maybe it's just a block of ramen. Like I don't.
Okay, yeah. Dried noodles.
Venus
This is a
always
comedy
keeps it
show. We
on
don't
her.
need to get science in on this. It's dried noodles.
Yeah.
And you just can't make heads or tails of it, so Cyrus comes over to help. Okay, so he's like, well, I think first we need water, and he kind of takes out his water skin, and he looks at it, he's like, I don't think, there's not like, I shouldn't just dump this in there, right?
Yeah, okay, listen. I know this. When you cook water, it makes it like not dirty anymore. So I think if we use that water, it's the only water we've got. So it's what we've got here. I have never mastered the amount of water to put in with these noodles. So I'm being honest. Hey, Cyrus, my bud, my friend, listen, I'm opening up to you now. I don't know how much water to put in with the noodles.
Well, you're in luck, because I know just the exact amount. And he pours his water skin into the pot, and he says, I know how to progress a scene in a natural way.
Sorry, I was just really hoping that Venus would know how to cook, because then I would have a reason to talk to her.
We've
but
talked
I'm,
about this.
I think we talked about Venus knowing how to cook before, I feel like.
No, I thought we talked about
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was
that
bad
she was
at it.
really
and
bad
also
at
a
it.
pirate.
I
I
remember
feel-
bits about my character.
I feel like I remember
Okay.
us talking about how she can't cook. I'm gonna be
And
real.
Apollo was the one who always cooked.
Yes.
Apollo
Oh,
and
yeah.
Shepard.
That we did talk
Damn
about
it.
that. Dang it, if only he was here.
If only he was
Shut
here.
your mouth.
Cyrus pours the water in, and they're both just like looking at it. Hey, Meadow, would you stir this for me while I gather the several mysterious spices that I have in my bag all the time?
Yeah, I guess. Is there like
Venus also,
no,
Venus also pulls out a spoon.
Venus. I understand the concept of stirring. Is there like a technique to this? I've never like she is stirring. She's just like worried that she's doing it wrong.
No, Meadow, you got this. Okay? Just for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. And then Venus puts the other stuff in the pot, which I don't know why I have to name every single thing that I put in this pot. Like, I'm preparing noodles with other stuff on it. Can we just leave it there?
I mean, you're the one who started trying to list things. I don't know.
So, I guess all three of us are just looking at the pot while Meadow stirs it.
Meadow is stirring the pot, I guess. And she's like, I really don't know how to cook at all. Which is something I feel like I should have maybe put just a smidge of effort into before pursuing the adventurer life. You know?
Yeah, cooking is the one thing that they always leave out of those adventuring books.
Yeah, like I'm in that way and many other ways. I am criminally unqualified, I must say.
Yeah, like, listen, you know me. I've been around and I've been up and down and I've been through what we call life.
You sure have.
And normally you just naturally, I think what people just seem to naturally learn how to cook along the way. And believe me, I've tried.
No,
but
I've been there for several attempts.
we don't gotta bring that up again. Anyways, when I lived back on my ship, I tried to, get out there and provide for myself and do all the cooking, but it never really worked out. So I I just had, well, I guess you know his name. I had Shepard cook for me in the beginning of it all, which I felt a little bit bad about, but he was always there.
Yeah, I really haven't. Well, I mean, I guess I've had several weeks now where I could have been honing my cooking skills, but before that, I really haven't had the opportunity to learn. It's your experience is not encouraging.
Well, we're all here now. Me, you, and Cyrus, and I think together, all of us,
Cyrus.
and Cyrus, my bud over here, my guy, wow, my guy Cyrus, we can all put our skills together and make at least something edible for tonight.
Well, Cyrus, do you know how to cook?
Not necessarily. I basically got more or less whatever I wanted for, like, most of my life until, like, 3 months ago. Maybe even less than that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
good for you.
Something like that. But, yeah. That's kind of me. That's my deal.
Finally, the age-old question.
Oh!
That's your deal? Because I find myself frequently wondering what your deal is, actually. Because, like, what are you doing here? I know, not the why did you run away part. I get that part. Why are you, like, right here still?
Well, okay. All right. Where else would I be?
I mean, you could have left.
I don't have... And gone and done what?
Just anything else. Like, what?
I mean, it doesn't seem like this is exactly the type of place to just kind of go off and kick it in a world that's physically trying to attack everybody.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't think being alone is necessarily the best option there, so I don't have many choices.
You gotta cut the guy some slack, Meadow. I mean...
Do I?
Literally... I mean, okay, cut the hostility. We're all party here.
No.
We're all party.
You don't get to talk to me about cutting the hostility. He arrested us the first time we met.
That one was a goober. I goobered up on that one.
Did you? That's your apology? That one was a goober? You threw us in jail.
Okay. Look. I don't know how much you know about my dad.
Well, I know I don't. I'm not a fan.
Were. Yeah. Well, that was pretty common sentiment.
I noticed.
You were able to take him down fairly easily, which, honestly, how you were able to accomplish that escapes me. But I don't think you are able to grasp just how much power he had, just what he could do. Arresting you was a mistake. I understand that now, but I didn't have a choice then. I guess I do have a choice of whether or not to stay with you now. There was nothing else that I could have done. Having my father be the one driving force for all of my actions, having his opinion and the pressures that he... I don't know that you understand what that's like.
Don't talk to me about family, okay?
He kind of takes a deep breath and, like, recenters himself, and he says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lash out. I've never actually said anything like that before, and it felt pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie, to just kind of get all that out. Not the open hostility towards you. That wasn't...
I get it. Can't fault you for that, actually.
Yeah.
I know that one.
And then he kind of sits down and is now just kind of, like, looking into the fire contemplatively.
Venus puts a hand on his shoulder, and she's also looking into the fire. And she says, you know, I think you'll find that many of us can understand where you're coming from. And we've all come from places that aren't the best, but we're in this together, so we're gonna get through it together.
He looks up at you and he smiles. And typically when he does, he looks like kind of insufferable in that way that Cyrus is, but he looks very genuine now. And then he looks back down at the fire. After a bit, you kind of all eat the noodles that you worked so hard on, and hit the hay.
Wow, Venus, these are not al dente, but good job.
That's right.
And then you go to sleep, and the scene is over, and the next scene starts with you waking up, and you kind of pack up and begin walking again until you kind of reach the end of the passageway. You haven't really seen many, dead ends while you're walking. You actually haven't seen any dead ends, but there is one in front of you now, and on it, you can see the next terminal. Seeker plugs into it before going rigid, leaving you to wait.
I think
Cyrus kind of sits down.
I just think Marsh sits down next to them and keeps a hand on them while they do that.
Okay. I think Cyrus also kind of sits down on one of the side walls that's not the one that Seeker is on. What do?
I walk over to him, and I'm, stretching out, great workout, Seredin! Yelling over my shoulder, and I go and I slump next to the wall and, slide down next to it. I'm like, how's it going?
Well, walking. We did a lot of walking.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever walked that much in my life.
Really?
He pauses for a moment, he looks around, he's like, yeah, I really don't think I've done that much walking. Ever.
Huh. Never go on, hikes, camping?
He kind of looks down over himself, and then back up at you, and he just kind of looks.
That's a fair point. I should have assumed that. See,
I think at this point, he also kind of has, some stubble.
Oh my god.
You shouldn't have said that. Now I'm gonna have to draw
I know
that.
I shouldn't have.
Jesus. Yeah, Wren looks over him and is like, yeah, I should have guessed that from the whole pretty boy prince thing, I suppose. Really? No hiking. Just in a palace, waited on hand and foot. Standing.
Done a lot of standing. But not a lot of walking, really. Just kind of palace throne room standing is more my
Did that not get
forte.
Hella boring?
No, it did. It wasn't fun.
Well, you're here now. So lots of walking in the future, I would assume. I do not know how much longer until we get to the center of this thing, but sure seems like there's quite a bit left, so you get to make up for lost time.
I mean, if I've been paying attention correctly, it seems like really not that much longer.
Okay, to be fair...
Because we're just about there, I think.
I was busy teaching Seredin how to lift up stones with proper technique. That guy wants to use his back all the time, and I'm like, Seredin, little buddy, you're gonna hurt yourself. You cannot lift like...
Well, he's also got pretty short legs, too, so that's gotta contribute.
Yeah, that's fair. Strong-ass tail, though. You wouldn't expect it.
Really?
Yeah.
I would never have guessed. Anyway.
Done talking about this loser rat.
Enough about that weird mouse.
Bro, no,
So
you did
true.
not.
That wasn't canon. That was just me
Really mean.
being a little stinker.
Meadow is no longer a pacifist.
Yeah, I mean, I've been training with Seredin for the past couple days. That guy's improved hella. We were talking about breathing techniques and shit. Oh yeah, were you trained in your palace formally with swords and shit?
That's a really good point. I actually don't think I've ever held a sword.
Wren is flabbergasted. Bro's jaw is open, and he's just not gonna stand for this. So he stands up off the wall, and he's like, stand up right now.
He does.
I unsheath my sword and I hand it to him.
He, like, reaches towards it and, like, kind of moves his hand, like, around it, not sure, like, where... Like, he knows he's supposed to grab the handle, but he, like, kind of just takes it and, like, I think he's holding it so that the crossguard is, like, it's not going, like, along with his... like, forearm, like, it's like...
Oh, no.
He's holding it kind of like an ice cream cone.
This is a two-hander, not a one-hand. You gotta put one hand here, like this, and I sort of, like, move his hand to show him how to hold it. And the other one you want to put down by the pommel. Just like this. See, does that feel more comfortable?
Yeah, comfortable is how I describe this.
Yeah, good. Okay, so... You want to hold it like this, and now point it forward.
He does, with your guidance.
And I like, walk him through a couple, like, training positions to, like, hold the sword with proper technique. Yeah, and so you want to do the side, and blah, blah, blah. I should really learn how to egg. I don't know anything about swords, and it's very... but Wren does, and he's teaching proper technique. Walking through some of the, like, very beginner, like drills, because you gotta figure out how to hold it before you can start swinging it, you know?
Right, okay. So you're kind of going through these positions of, like, how to hold the sword, and after a while, Seeker unplugs. And they turn around quickly and say, "Hurry and... Oh, there does not appear to be any danger present this time. Fascinating."
Yeah, see, you scared him off with your scary sword poses, and pats him on the back, really, like, you know,
I'm
gruffly.
homophobic.
I think you kind of let go of his, like, hands in the sword, and it is very heavy, and he does, like, it, like, kind of, like, is still in his hands, but, like, the blade kind of falls and, like, hits the ground very hard and makes a pretty big noise. And then he, like, is startled and drops it.
Well, shit.
Yeah, that, I think it was definitely me
I hate gay
that scared these guys away.
I hate gay
Thanks,
people.
yeah.
I have to leave this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm homophobic.
Yeah. And then, before they turn and the wide door in front of you kind of opens. The entirety of it actually looks pretty similar to the doors that Seekers opened before, but just a little bit taller and wider. But before you now, as you kind of walk through it, lies a steadily declining ramp. Hey everybody, it's Tin, and I'm here with the show notes, and I got them, and they're here, and you got them to listen to. I want to give a super quick shout out to Dax Seredin on Reddit. That's DAXAYRTON on Reddit. He's got a lot of really cool stuff. You can go check him out on Reddit. That's DAXAYRTON on Reddit. He's great. I want to thank you for listening. This is... I sound like a broken record at this point, but the amount of growth that we've had is actually incredible. We had the highest listenership month recently. We had the highest listenership single week recently. And last week, we had the highest single day listenership peak of all time. That's huge. This is awesome. And it's all entirely thanks to you guys. We don't really advertise anywhere, so the only way that we have to grow is through word of mouth. And this growth is all because of you guys. And I really appreciate that. And I know my co-hosts really do as well. If you want to kind of keep that growth train moving, you can share the show with the hashtag #TheDiceCast, which we will be able to kind of see what you post, and we'll be able to see that you are kind of talking about the show, and we'll be able to talk to you. And if you post fan art of the show using that hashtag, we'll be able to kind of repost it and talk about it in these kind of breaks. This week we have there was some lovely art of Venus that was made by withlove.maria_. So go ahead and go check that out. Go give that some love. It's really good. I'm just really excited about all the growth that's happening. I'm really excited about where the story's kind of going, and that you're actually kind of hearing the stuff that we've been writing and planning for so long. Well, I say we, I mean I'm glad that you're hearing it now. All this to say, the next episode, sorry this one was late. There was a whole complicated thing, but you know how it is. You know how I am at this point. The next episode should be up on the 21st of May. I will talk to you then. Enjoy the rest of the episode. The 7 of you walk down this ramp for a while before, as you see it, a door the size of the entire wall begins to kind of slide open. Through it, you can see a wider room than you've seen in this layer so far. It's actually less overgrown than it has been up to this point, with only kind of vines and mosses being here. There's a giant screen in the wall in front of you, and below it, there's a port for Seeker to connect to. The other noticeable thing about this room is that lining the walls are dozens of brute robots, arm robots, illusion robots, and just hundreds of portholes for the tendrils. All of them kind of against the walls, all of them powered down. What do you do?
Well, they better stay powered down. Fucking hell.
I think this is a moment to sneak. What do you guys say?
Sneaking beats fighting.
Do a good old sneak? That's a great idea.
Great.
Yeah, I don't really want to fight all these guys.
Yeah, that was
Seeker has,
not great last time. We had to do a bunch
connect to this porthole.
I just want everyone to know that if we are sneaking, I did just roll a natural 20.
Can I investigate to see if I have any idea whether all of these robots are connected to the port in such a way when Seeker activates it, it'll activate all of these robots?
You can roll perception.
I also don't have proficiency in perception, which is crazy to me. That's an 8.
I don't think you're able to distinguish that. You can tell that the robots are kind of all just standing powered down around the room. None of them are really near the port, but there are just like a bunch of them.
Cool.
And the port is there. But that's all you can really tell.
And there's no other door leading out of this room, correct?
Nope. No other door.
I think sneaking will be pointless if Seeker is still going to connect to the port and potentially power on all of these.
But hear me out,
machines.
though. I'm gonna do it so well. You're not even gonna notice that I've moved through the room. I'm just gonna be on the other side. It's gonna be sick.
Meadow's saying that from the other side of the room.
Yeah, she's like, but look at this. I'm over here now.
Marsh turns to Seeker and goes, "Do you think you're ready?"
I'm not sure what is going to happen, or what is supposed to happen when I connect, but I've been trying to get here for long enough, I think.
I think Marsh just walks with them over to the port.
Okay, do the rest of you follow?
I'm already over there, baby. None of you even saw me do it.
Yeah, I also rolled a 25 to sneak over there, so even Meadow didn't
both
know
of
that
us
I was over there
got
with
there,
her.
and they were like, wait, when the fuck did you get here?
Yeah, all of you kind of make it across the room.
Oh, we don't even have to roll?
Huh?
We don't even have to roll stealth. I was getting so excited.
I mean, if you want to roll stealth, Marsh isn't rolling stealth. Seeker's not.
I got a 17, so not as good.
Okay,
but respectable.
You're still pretty sneaky. I don't think anybody else really notices, as you are also. The three of you are just at the end of the room before Marsh even, Marsh just looks around and it's just Cyrus and Venus, that they're talking to, are you ready to go over? And then nothing. And then, so you all kind of make it across the room, and then Seeker connects to the main computer terminal, and then you wait. In the wait, you have nothing to do but observe this room. Dreary, dank room, devoid of life, save for yourselves. However long it's been since life has touched these chambers is brought to life again by yourselves and by your actions. And in the wait, you sit in the struggle and the journey down to get Seeker here, deeper and deeper into the heart of the world you've traveled, and yet you haven't really considered your escape. You wonder if Seeker will be able to free you once they've returned to power, or if they ever will. The silence in the wake of the terminal suffocates all sound like fresh falling snow in the winter, but rather than tranquil opportunity, you're left with nothing but stale air and anticipation. Seeker sits in wait, sturdy and rigid, and if it didn't work, you've not only lost your friend, but your way out. How long will it be until you too are statues along the walls, flanking the terminal in rows of machine and bone? All air has stopped as you haven't taken a breath in what feels like hours to you before the screen illuminates. It displays that old-school kind of computer hacker font, but rather than green, blue letters appear. And they type out the following words. The king and the eagle on separate paths. The king's glory severed and split thrice in half. As king grew almighty, his jesters would dance. The knights of his table were given to chance. The screen goes black until, illuminated in that bright blue, you see a symbol of a circle, 7 squares, and a bird with its wings spread wide. Seeker looks up. You watch as, above them, 2 tendrils descend, one of which clamps firmly onto the back of their head before the other kind of smashes itself into their chest, biting down and pulling out a chunk of their body, pieces of them falling away to reveal, there in the mouth of this tendril, the catalyst, glowing a taunting blue. The tendril holding Seeker moves up, turning them towards you, their damaged face now only illuminating one eye. Dear Lord, that was nearly unbearable, but it is good to be back again. Traveling down here with you as them was nice and all, but I much prefer this, don't you?
So, what?
I look
What?
at Marsh.
You're a lie? Seeker is a lie?
That's not entirely true. I am Seeker. Seeker is who I am. You may have known Kairos or Corvus Heath, but
God damn it.
I am still Seeker. I know this is jarring, but surely it can't be that bad, and besides, Marsh, I still need you. I'm not different than I was before. I just know more now. I can tell you what I remembered, Marsh. Come with me.
What do you need me to do?
As you kind of say that, you see a tendril kind of descend from the roof and kind of settle in the air next to you. I just need you to follow. Without them.
Marsh?
Well, fuck no.
Yeah, don't do that.
Where Marsh goes, I go.
Okay.
No!
No.
No.
No!
Marsh, what are you...
Marsh!
Marsh walks towards the tendril.
Yeah.
The rest of you watch as that tendril wraps around Marsh, pulling them and Seeker back into the wall before it closes shut behind them both. The second that they do, those robots all come to life. They move into action. You can see the jet flames on the back of the brutes begin to fire up, the arms of the stretched robots extending outwards, clamping onto the ground, dragging themselves closer, illusions all springing over the simple robots, starting to take the form of Marsh, slowly ambling towards you 5. What do you do?
Is there no exit besides the one we came into?
Yeah.
Is there any way I can run after Marsh?
I mean, you could try. They kind of disappeared. The both of them disappeared into a wall that is closed now, and there are tons of robots heading in your direction.
God
Oh
damn
my
it.
god.
Okay, great. I'm going to cast Spike Growth to try to slow them down and damage the robots, just as a first reaction.
Okay.
So there's going to be a 20-foot circle where it's difficult terrain, and when they move into the area, or if they are in the area, they take 2d4 piercing every 5 feet.
Where is that? Is that between you and the terminal, or between you and the where?
Wait, okay.
So there's robots on like both sides of you.
Mm-hmm.
There's behind you the exit, and in front of you the terminal and the screen.
I see.
Yeah.
I was misinterpreting the layout of this. No, yeah, behind, like way behind us is the exit.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, wait. Could I cast it a little bit more off to the side then, so that we could still have? Okay, I'm gonna cast it to just at one group of the robots, I guess, so that it slows down some of them.
Okay. Then what?
Guys, should we just start? I mean, we can't stay in here, right? Do we just start running?
But we can't leave Marsh.
Yeah, we can't. We can't.
Yeah, we can't.
Just
we can't
because
leave
they're
Marsh,
apparently
and
making stupid decisions, that's their whole new thing now. We can't just leave them.
Everybody make a dexterity saving throw.
Damn it.
Oh, that's bad.
10.
What do you
plus
9.
3. 13.
Fine.
5.
14.
Yikes, guys.
I almost rolled a nat 20.
All of you take 12 points of burning damage as one of the jet robots kind of flies above you, and the flame jets from behind it kind of all they burn you from above, and then it lands between you and the terminal and begins running at you.
You said 12?
12,
Is fire...
You take 6.
Okay, thank you. What is it exactly? Describe it. It's like a... Does it look like Marsh? Is it...
No, this is like the first one of those first guys you fought. Like, it's very big, probably like 12 feet tall, just very, very huge, very strong. When you fought it last time, it used like its giant fists to smash into the wall and pull out 2 giant pieces of metal that it used as swords. It doesn't have those now because it's a different robot, but that's kind of... It's just very, very big and scary. It has a jetpack on its back.
Oh, shit.
And it's like flying towards us?
And it's charging towards you. It flew over you with the burning damage, and it's charging toward you now.
Venus is gonna take out her pike again and try and skewer it.
Along with this one, there's actually... All of the other ones are also gaining. There are probably hundreds of robots in this room that are running at you alongside of this one. You can do this if you'd like, but there are like a bunch of other robots all running at you. I didn't anticipate this to be like a initiative combat either for this scene. We're kind of going to be wonky with it because it's cooler that way. But
Okay.
Is it cooler that way, or are you just making it needlessly
I have
difficult?
a
Can I
couple
do a thing?
ideas when you're done with this.
it would be so much more difficult to do as combat. Trust me on this.
Not if you want me to do
And
things.
I have a lot of cool stuff.
I have a dialogue to say.
Okay, go for it.
I think Wren is goes up to Seredin and is like, "Remember what I told you, Seredin? You gotta breathe and get so angry." And goes into a rage and starts charging at one of the guys.
Okay. Which one of the guys? There's every kind of robot that you fought in here are in here.
Did Venus already go after the one that's closest?
We could probably resolve that now if you still wanted to do that, Venus.
I did still want to do that, Venus.
Alright, then I guess make an attack roll.
Okay. Is there anything near this guy as well?
Yeah, I'd say there's a few of the arm robots kind of flanking it.
Is the one that's charging towards us, is it like big? It's the big one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Venus is gonna... I think she's just gonna try and go after this guy. So she's gonna take her pike and skewer it. Crazy style. It's a 16.
You're kind of bracing for the impact of this hulking brute as it kind of runs towards you. And as it does, it, with its very big hand, kind of, that is a 21 against your AC.
Yeah.
It is going to just kind of push its arm outwards, and it sends you flying about 10 feet towards the door, actually. But it continues charging past you. Oh, I forgot to roll damage. Sorry.
Oh man,
That's
you could have
important.
kept it like
No,
that.
who needs it?
That is 14 bludgeoning.
Damn.
You were right. I did need that calculator.
Yeah, Wren, you kind of, with your maul, kind of go after one of the guys, and Cyrus is like, "Are you insane? What are you trying to accomplish here? We have to go.
We can't just leave Marsh.
Is there another option?"
have an
Literally
idea.
anything else. That's one of our party members. Our friend.
I have an idea. Seredin runs and grabs just a piece of Seeker that fell to the ground, like a gear or some scrap metal, and goes to throw it at one of the big robots, like the one that just attacked Venus, to try to get its attention. So 22 to hit it in the head with a little piece of metal. Yeah, okay.
That goes.
Then Seredin runs over to the wall where Marsh disappeared and kind of readies themselves.
The robots are kind of now, like, in the space between you and the thing. You'd have to be, like, pushing past, like, a bunch of guys to get to the space in the wall. And, like, the space in the wall was, like, above, kind of, like, it was, like, a couple dozen feet into the air where the wall opened up, and you're now, like, surrounded on most sides by the robots closing in.
Well, then never mind. My cool idea won't work because TINFOLD said no.
TINFOLD just hates cool ideas.
I described the scene, and I gave you the scene.
So there's guys in front of the door. That's the problem.
There are no guys in front of the door just yet.
And what's the problem?
I mean, leaving behind Marsh.
Oh, I thought you meant the door that Marsh went through. I thought that was what we were doing.
That's the hole in the wall that's way up in the air.
And the wall closed
Yeah.
behind them.
Oh, okay. So the problem was I wasn't paying attention.
Yes.
Meadow, I know you don't want to leave Marsh behind, but if we stay in this room, we'll be dead and we can't go and get them anyways.
Yeah, but if we run away and come back, it's still gonna be full of robots. Like,
Seredin, you're making a lot of sense right now.
What is the alternative?
Shut up. Well, if we leave this room, then we can at least have time to talk and figure this out. If we spend any more time in here, then we're done.
But we don't even know what happened to Marsh.
We can figure that out if we don't die.
Wren has his very one-track mind. He's punching a robot.
Go ahead and roll an attack.
19.
Okay. You're punching one of, like, the illusion robots, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure, fake
that,
Marsh.
you go over to, go ahead and actually roll damage.
That is 16 damage.
Okay. You kind of run off to the side, and a couple of these Marsh robots are near you, and you're able to kind of punch one's head, and it, like, falls over into another one, but then one behind you kind of grabs onto you, and then another does, and Cyrus launches a bolt of black and blue kind of electricity in its direction, and it hits into the one that is holding onto you. You take 2 points of lightning damage as it is metal and the lightning kind of is transferred through you, but it hits into the other one that grabbed you, and you are not grappled, but things are closing in still. And Cyrus says, "I'm with Seredin here. We can't die. That's the worst thing to happen right now."
Meadow, I don't want to leave here, but we literally can't fight hundreds of these things, and if we decide that we need to come back in this room, we can, but we have to go. And they start trying to pull her hand to head towards the door.
We can't leave them.
What are we gonna...
Wren is the only one who make...
We just went
I
through
don't
a
wanna
battle
leave.
that had 100 robots. Can't we just do it again?
We technically did run away from that one.
We
Listen.
killed 10 of them.
We
Maybe.
did run away from that one. What are this room, the wall that they went through, what is it, like, made of? And how, like
Metal.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it looks like the rest kind of the city.
That is
Part
unfortunate.
of protecting someone is fighting, but we also have to be alive to do it. Please.
Wren starts gearing up to swing again.
Is Seredin just pleading, or are they, like, actually leaving as well?
I'm, pulling on like, Seredin's pulling on Meadow's arm, trying to drag her towards the door before the robots get in the way.
The problem with that is that I think she's stronger than Seredin is by sheer size.
Okay, then I'm gonna roll contested strength against you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What you get?
That's a 10.
Ooh, I do beat you, yeah. Which is impressive because I'm on a -1 to strength.
Oh my god. Seredin looks to Cyrus, because he's the one on her side right now.
He kind of runs over and starts, I guess, pulling on Meadow too.
I mean, I don't think she beats that. That we don't need to contest that one. She's not strong. But do we? Because Wren is still punching.
Wren is still
trying to fight.
Wren's swinging and punching and taking damage, presumably.
Wren,
Okay,
we've gotta go.
Make a wisdom saving throw,
Okay.
Wren.
17.
You can kind of feel your mind stop for like just a second before you're like back in it, and you can see Cyrus now has his hand kind of extended out towards you, and he says, Wren, we have to go. We just have to go. We just have to go. I get it, I do, but we have to go.
Did you just try to command me?
We can talk about this outside of the room!
Wren, come on!
Fine. And can I whack one last time?
Yeah, roll an attack.
That is a 22.
Yeah, okay. You make an arc with your maul, and it, you kind of hit into a, robot, and it kind of, falls into a couple other ones, which, leaves you free to run away.
And I guess I turn back and run with the rest of them.
Is Meadow being dragged along at this point?
Is Seredin running?
Yeah, Seredin, yeah.
Meadow has been very stubborn. As long as Seredin was physically pulling on her, very stubborn. The moment Seredin actually runs, she is running as well.
Okay, yeah, Seredin's running then.
I think Venus is definitely at the same crossroad that I am at, because Venus made a promise that this exact same thing would not happen. And here we are, and it's happening. And I don't know what's going to happen, like, once we leave. Once we leave, okay, we're in a different room. Okay, then what? We go back? Like,
That's what I'm saying!
It's not like Marsh is just going to come back to us.
That's what I'm saying! Yeah!
Okay, so the hole that Marsh went through is, like, above in a wall. It's out of reach.
Yeah.
And closed now.
You actually, as things have happened, there's no like indicator for like that it was like a hole that opens up in the wall. It's just part of the wall that opened and it closed, but it just looks like wall, and you don't actually know exactly like where it was.
And there's nothing else.
Venus, if I don't get to stay behind and be heroic about it, neither do you!
Venus, please, I know, just please.
While I'm running back, and by the time I get to where Venus is, I grab her arm and I go, Venus, I agree with you. I think that you're correct, but apparently we're leaving, and I am not going to leave you behind.
Okay, okay. Yes, we're leaving. Okay, everybody, we're leaving.
We're leaving.
Okay. As you start running back towards the exit, some of those panels from the wall, or some of those panels from the floor and walls begin to kind of move in and out of place like they did in the other chambers. Everybody make an athletics check.
Oh boy.
Ooh!
15.
Oh no, it didn't suck. I thought it was a 3, but it's an 8. 8 plus 7 is a high number.
I got a 27.
I have a negative athletics modifier.
Oh my god.
You're running back towards the door that you came through, and it is now slowly beginning to close. And as you're running, Seredin, you trip over one of those panels. You just don't see it, and you kind of fall forward onto your chest, rolling over just in time to see a glowing projectile from a tendril on its way toward you, and it collides with your shoulder for 10 points of burning damage. You're able to get
use Channel Divinity as a reaction to cut that in half, dampen an element or whatever
Okay.
it's called.
Perfect. Okay, so you do that, and you're all able to kind of get back up, and as you kind of near the entrance, it closes with a thud and slams shut before you're able to leave. Venus, you're all back against the wall door that has closed. You're facing the robots now, and they are getting very near to your direction. The tendrils have kind of zipped out ahead of the rest of the robots and are snapping in your direction. What do you do?
How many tendrils?
I'll say 5.
Oh, great. You're so nice.
We'll say 2.
Hey, you're so nice. Venus is going to use her sweeping attack to take her sword and oh god, tendrils. How do you defeat the tendrils? Are these the ones where when you cut them, they grow new ones? No, has that ever happened? Yes, it has.
That's a Hydra, I think.
Yeah.
You cut when you separate the head from the tendril, the head still acts freely, but the tendril it goes away and it's less mobile, but it does still exist there.
Okay, can I try and cut it vertically down the middle of the tendril and the thing for both of them with my sweeping attack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's freaking sick as heck.
Fucked up.
Oh shit, I missed. Okay, that's not good. That's a 10.
Okay, the tendrils kind of zoom towards you, and you try to hit them, and they both just kind of are weaving, and you're not able to get a hit on them, and they're going to just... Yes, you do still get 2 attacks.
Yeah, baby! I love being a fighter! That's a 24.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah. Okay, so Venus first takes her fire sword and slashes it down the first one, and then she flips her sword, and then she does it again with the second one. The first one takes 13. The first one takes 13 damage, and the second one takes 8 damage. Max that out. Wait, no, 8 plus 3.
Okay.
Do I add strength to the...
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so 8 plus 3 is 12. So 13 and 12.
It's 11. But, okay, so they're kind of charging at you, and you can see that they come towards you, and you slash at the first, and your flaming sword just kind of digs into the head of it, and as you, pull it out, your blade connects with the next one, and both of them kind of retract a little bit, leaving the rest of the robots to kind of come forth. Seredin, as this is happening, you can kind of see a panel on the wall that's opening and closing. It doesn't look like it looks like it is a little bit in disrepair. I think one of those tendrils went out and hit it as it was trying to close, and it doesn't, but it looks small enough that you'd be able to fit into it.
Huh. Just me?
Just you. It's not person-sized, but...
Interesting. I think in this moment of kind of blind panic where all they're thinking at this point is just run and get away, and they've already tripped and been hurt by these robots, as they're getting up, I think they would see this opening and just instinctively run towards it.
Okay, you kind of go into it. Roll an acrobatics check.
That's a 16.
Meadow. You can see now a few of those kind of armed robots are drawing near. A couple of the long arms extending outwards, narrowly missing you and hitting into the wall behind you. There are a couple others heading towards you. What do you do?
I cast Spiritual Weapon, I think. And I don't think I can only get one of them. Or I can only, attempt to get one of them in my... Well, we're not doing turns, technically, but...
Go wild, bro.
I don't know how that...
Be cool. Go wild, bro. This is such a cool moment.
I'm casting Spiritual Weapon. How many did you say they were?
There is one on the wall behind you, and there are 2 that are kind of extending towards you.
Right.
Well, one that has come towards you and missed and hit into the wall.
Well, I think I attack
Yes.
one of the ones that is heading towards me with my floating spectral weapon, which is just like a sword or something this time. You know, we're going normal. Or wait, these are the tendrils.
These are the robots with the long arms.
Which ones are those?
You fought them in the room with the drill bikes.
So they're just robots with long arms, not the tendrils where
they're just robots
stay
with
alive
arms that stretch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Well, then I'm just making an attack roll on one of those. which does hit, because that is a natural 20.
Nice.
Let's go. Okay, roll damage.
Yeah, I'm rolling. Is it?
Let's freaking go.
It's more if it's a natural 20, right?
You roll your dice 2 times, and any modifier just gets 1.
That's what I thought. That is 14 points of damage.
Okay, you, with this, spectral sword, it swings through the air and it just severs one in half, and, as it's kind of falling, it lands on the one that, has hit the ground on you, or has hit the wall behind you, and it, lets go and retracts. There's still one left. What do you do?
I mean, the spiritual weapon is still there. It still exists, so...
Yeah.
I swing at that one as well. And that also hits. That's a unnatural 24.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage on that.
11.
With an 11, your spiritual weapon kind of digs into it, and nearly severs it, but not quite. But that is enough for it to kind of retract. Seredin, you climb your way through the wall, and now you can see the edge of the wall panel. It's more like overgrown on the side of it, and you can tell that it is the panel that slid to become the door. There are wires and cogs and pistons all kind of tangled and woven around you. What do you do?
Woven around? Am I stuck?
No, not like in the area. You're in this area, and there's a bunch of wires and cogs and pistons.
Okay. You said that it opened to make the door that I just slipped through, or the door we came in through, just to clarify.
The door, the massive door of the wall.
Okay.
That closed.
I see. I think now that, like, they had their moment of, like, blind panic and slipped into this space, and now they've realized, oh, I'm in the wall where the machinery lives. The door has closed. Terminal is on the other side of it, so I guess they're gonna look around to see if they can tell, like, if there's anything they could mess with or pull on or do something to make the door open all the way for everybody.
I mean, you see a bunch of pistons and a bunch of wires and a bunch of cogs.
I mean, I guess I'm asking to roll if I can figure out exactly which ones
go for it.
to mess
go for
with.
It.
Perception,
investigation, I'd say.
Investigation. Oh, don't fail me now. -1.
Oh no.
That's a 4.
Okay, you can't tell any specifics. There's a bunch of cogs and wires and like levers and stuff around you, and you just don't know.
Okay.
But there's a bunch of them.
Awesome. Just gonna start pulling on a lever.
Wren, 2 brutes are currently charging their way right towards your party. One of them using its massive fist to kind of dig into the ground, hurling itself toward you, and the other just activating its jetpack on full blast. What do you do?
Can I smash them?
Go ahead and try to smash those guys.
Oh, 11.
Okay. You kind of brace for impact, probably getting in front of the party, and the one that's on the jetpack is going faster than the one on the ground. It heads towards you. You try to swing at it, but you miss and fumble, and the kind of flame goes above your party. Everybody make, or Wren and Meadow and Venus make a dexterity saving throw.
Yikes.
12.
10.
11.
Okay, you all take 12 points of burning damage as it kind of flies above you. That other one is the brute that used its jetpack kind of swings around to kind of make another pass, but before then, the other one is nearing you. That's charging you. What do you do?
Can I try to whack it again?
You could try to whack it again.
That one's a 12.
Okay. It kind of charges towards you, and I think you attempt to whack it, but as it's getting close, you can tell that one whack with your maul is not going to do much, so you brace for impact. I think now we're gonna make a contested strength roll as you're kind of like using your maul to like brace against this guy, and it lodges into them a little bit.
Actually, I'm gonna use my Wren dice instead of this dice.
Yeah.
20. That's a dirty 20.
Okay, you are kind of holding this thing at bay. It's trying to move towards you, but with use of simple machines and your brute strength, it is just kind of pushing against your maul, unable to move forward. And as you are kind of doing this, you can kind of see behind it, and the rest of you also see as a few of those brutes, the arm robots, the tendrils, the illusion bots, even a couple of those like toaster-sized ones, they have been kind of moving towards each other in the center of the room, and as they interact, you can see their bodies kind of shifting and moving, bending and unfolding and refolding until before you can see that they have combined into a giant mechanical hound. It starts charging at you before Venus and Meadow. You nearly fall backwards as the door opens behind you.
Well, I feel like we're
What do you do?
booking it.
Okay, the four of you bolt through it, and you can see Seredin standing on the other side. The five of you run back up the ramp, dodging out of the way of those platforms, leaping over and around tendrils and projectiles as they speed past you, narrowly missing each time. You bound down the passageway as almost blindly you try to find your way back to the last access port, and you zip down a turn right as the hound charges down the corridor you were in prior. You didn't get much of a head start before it turns right back around, following you down your passageway. You make a sharp left turn, and it collides headfirst into the corner of that junction. You're running through, still needing to dodge out of the way of those moving panels, kind of juking around them and leaping off them as the hound kind of begins to move towards you again. Everybody make a athletics check.
Ooh, man, good thing I'm really good at athletics.
16.
11.
Ooh, 16.
Okay. You're all running through this passageway, trying to get to the next turn, trying to avoid this massive hound that is bounding towards you. And the panels are kind of moving wilder than they ever have. You have to move kind of with extra caution to avoid them, but that impacts speed, and the hound is gaining on you. It doesn't take long before the four of you see a panel raise and open sideways, and Venus, you just don't see it. The rest of you watch as Venus runs and falls directly down into it. As you come up on it, you can see only darkness below, and the panel is slowly closing back up, the hound mere hundreds of feet away. What do you do?
This one I think we should go into.
Yes, absolutely.
Venus, no. Wren runs towards the thing.
Yeah, Meadow as well.
Looks into it. Is like getting rope out of my bag to try to put down to Venus.
Can we even see her down there?
Can we see her?
Nope. It's just dark.
Venus, can you hear us?
You don't get a response back from Venus.
I don't want to leave Venus. I
Can we
want
see
to go
anything?
down in there with her.
You can see just kind of machinery along the sides, but it very quickly becomes just pitch blackness.
Look, we couldn't follow Marsh, but this time...
Yeah, I think
let's
Meadow's
just,
going.
I mean, if Venus is... Let's just go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wren's jumping in.
Meadow is going in there.
Yeah.
The four of you all jump. You can feel the air kind of getting colder and colder around you before it gets more and more humid. You land on a kind of metal chute and begin sliding down through the absolute blackness, the sounds of machinery moving around you and above you before you leave the sounds behind entirely. The last thing you all experience is a complete silence as you plummet into the unknown.